Oh, hey. Just reading issue 1. Welcome to issue 1 bump.
Let's start with the cool stuff from this week. From DC, we're going to be talking about two new series, the Omega Men and Bizarro. Both got issue 1s with the start of the new-ish DC universe. The Omega Men, written by Tom King and with art by Barnaby Bagenda, has been described to me as DC trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy type comic, but after reading issue 1 it promises to be much more than that. If you're new to the DC universe, you may be confused as to the several references to the White Lantern Kyle Rayner, but I'm going to say hold off on that Wikipedia search for now. The book has a very cinematic feel to it. Page 1 has black panels interspersed between the shots of space soldiers with DC Comics Presents and The Omega Men #1. This lends itself to a larger-than-life feeling the book is trying to elicit from the audience, and I must say, it's successful. The book is fast-paced, sticking to the classic 9-panel layout of 3x3. It's easy to follow with only slight variations, some of the 3 panels becoming one long panel, as well as 2 full-page spreads, both featuring Tigor, who appears to be the main focus of this book. Bagenda on art with Romulo Fajardo Jr. on colors works very well here. The art is expressive and a lot is said with the easy-to-read facial expressions of the characters. The colors are smooth, background colors playing well with the tone of the story as it goes along. There's something that Rogers Lousney said in a foreword for one of his books that I really like. He says, with regards to science fiction, you need to respect your audience. It's not necessary to explain every little thing that's happening, and King has done a wonderful job utilizing this in Omega Men #1. Issue 1 of the Omega Men has only one purpose: to introduce us to our cast of heroes and to show us just what they can do. It's not terribly important why the Citadel is sending soldiers after them or who the Viceroy the comic keeps jumping to is. As Toph from Avatar says, if it's important, I'll find out. The story is simple. Enemy soldiers from the Citadel invade the hideout of the Omega Men, and the Omega Men, in turn, slaughter them. For action-packed beginnings, you can't ask for much more than that. The dialogue is very well crafted. The enemies barely talk outside of the repetition of the line, "We will not hurt you, we are friends." Nothing is needless or out of place. King gives us just enough information to follow the plot of the first issue, and leaves enough unexplained that the reader is excited to pick up the second issue. The reader gets the sense that they are coming in the middle of a story, with the relationships between the characters already well established. It gives the group a nice cohesion, watching them fight together and talk together, but without any throwaway expositional nonsense. I would say that this will lean more towards the space adventure genre than towards proper sci-fi, and the entire book has a very Star Wars feel to it. But honestly, I think anyone that digs cosmic storylines is going to dig it. I think we have a lot to look forward to from King and Bagenda in the future of the Omega Men. I greatly look forward to where this series will be going. I give this book a bump. Check it out. The second DC comic for this week is Bizarro #1. It's a wonderful comedy coming out of writer Heath Corson with art by Gustavo Duarte and Bill Sienkiewicz. It's a hilarious issue 1 about Bizarro and Jimmy Olsen on a cross-country road trip. The book looks to be about Bizarro trying to find his place in the world, which is an endearing theme I feel a lot of comic book readers, young and old, can relate to. With years of Bizarro being the unfortunate, less-than-stellar model of Superman, he's breaking out on his own with the help of Jimmy Olsen and Colin the Chupacabra to find a place where Bizarro is loved, which they've decided is Canada, or as Jimmy puts it, Bizarro America. It's a departure from most comedy that's been coming out of mainstream publishers, as this is kid-friendly, whereas most are violence-based, intent on trying to copy the eclectic madness that is Deadpool. The cartoony art style takes the creepy factor away from Bizarro and gives him more of a lovable oaf feel. The back and forth between Bizarro and Jimmy is enough to have you in stitches the entire book, with Bizarro figuring out how the world works and Jimmy playing the straight man. Normally I find Bizarro's backwards talk a little hard to follow, but Corson keeps it simple, and you really don't lose anything. Panels are big, sticking to 2x4 squares on a page, or several long panels stacked on each other. The simplistic style really helps keep the tone light, and several pages even end with wide open spaces at the bottom. The narration jumps between daydreaming Jimmy Olsen and a reflecting Bizarro, with the panel color and lettering changing as they switch. You really get in the head of these two characters, and you find that they really both want the same thing: respect from their peers. For Jimmy, it's as a journalist, and for Bizarro, it's as a superhero. The entertaining parallel being that they both are compared to some version of Superman, Bizarro to Supes and Jimmy to Clark. For the art, I really have to hand it to Duarte and Sienkiewicz. So much of the story is told in the art itself, from the cartoony facial expressions to an almost postmodern feel during Bizarro's dream at the end. The characters all have such distinctive looks, it would make John Lasseter of Pixar jealous. Their first villain is Regis King Tut Tuttle, the used car salesman, and if this is indicative of the direction the book will be going, I look forward to seeing more superhero magic injected into mundane problems. This is a must-read for children of all ages. It's going to be fun and endearing with a healthy dose of humor throughout. Bizarro #1. Thanks for sticking around for our first episode of Issue 1 Bump. If we have any more videos, that's where they'll be. Like and subscribe below. Once again, I have been your host, Peter Eady, and remember, one time Mark Millar did make a good comic. Thank you.